Again, no intro today, folks. We're getting straight into this. Looks like, folks, this is gonna be the battle that will determine whether our gaming media stays gaming.
In any event, let's look at what's going on with this petition. First of all, I am going to urge you to sign this petition yourself if you haven't done so yet. I am including a link in the description for anyone who wants to sign it. 20,000 signatures in just a couple days.
Okay, actually, why don't we check? I think I have the petition and I signed it, okay? If you guys can see it, it says 20K, well, nearly 21,000. And today, it is 28,000, which by the time of this upload, is probably going to reach 30,000, okay? I signed one of them. And I'm going to put the link in the description as well.
Good. And I don't think we have necessarily hit our biggest stride with this either. I think we have the capacity for much more expansive growth, and I imagine the people at these payment processors realize that as well, which is why someone is attempting to shut this shit down ASAP. Fortunately, it sounds like the information in the petition update, which was causing problems and being called defamatory, that information was discovered and removed, but I still think this is important to point out. Let's read the letter that Zero Ryoku, the person who started this petition, received from change.org.
I don't know you know this. This kind of thing happened with Smash JT, okay? They tried to go after their funding source. Look what happened with Smash JT. Why do you think Smash JT doesn't use change.org? The moment his petition, or in this case, I think his GoFundMe, no, not petition, his GoFundMe was nearly past its goal. The people who run the payment refused to pay him. See, this is one of the reasons. They're trying to stop them. They knew if this petition goes through, oh boy, it is probably going to destroy them. Remember, Collective Shout is panicking, okay?
We are writing to let you know that we received a claim alleging that content in your petition update is defamatory. Change.org is an open platform and we care deeply about free speech and empowering our users to create the change they want to see. However, when you use change.org, you agree to our terms of service and community guidelines, and this includes agreeing not to defame others. This means you cannot make untrue statements about another person or organization which harms their reputation. In order to allow us to continue hosting your petition update, please provide proof or substantiation of any allegedly defamatory statement within 3 business days. Now, by the time I got to this story, Zero announced that he had removed the update from this petition in order to prevent the whole thing from getting taken down, but the important point is that these guys are rattled. Well, maybe not rattled. These payment processors, the likes of PayPal, Visa, etc., these companies are obviously about as big as they come, and I'm sure they have contingency plans for their contingency plans, and they likely plan to fight in the courts as much as possible, so maybe they're not rattled. But these goons, or at least someone supportive of them, are acknowledging that this petition is a threat to what is essentially a monopoly. Otherwise, why would someone take the time to read an update on this petition and then report it to change.org for defamation?
Okay, first and foremost, you guys have to understand one thing. Defamation is hard to prove. I don't know why change.org keeps on falling for this. Because I think people, some of you must have read the condition or perhaps the about section. You know there's nothing defamatory in it because Collective Shout is a public company. It's a government funded. Yes, it's a non-profit, but it's still a public company. It's public. How's that even defamatory?
Why else would they do that? And the answer is, if it wasn't some sort of a threat to them, they wouldn't do it. They would not bother looking at this petition at all if it was inconsequential. We have their attention, and we have to make sure that we cross all our T's and dot all of our I's, because quite clearly the big wigs at these major financial institutions would very much like to shut this petition down before it turns into something like Stop Killing Games, which recently hit 1.4 million signatures. What I would love to see is for someone like Asmongold, who has a massive following, to amplify this message. So, for anyone out there listening, share this video or any other videos or social media posts that talk about this subject. Share that information out, and let's see if we can get the attention of some of these louder voices. Imagine how many signatures we could gather if we had someone like Asmongold or Rev Says mentioning this.
Dr. Disaster, I believe Rev already covered this. They've already heard the petition and about the censorship. Revs already know about it. I don't know about Asmongold. I think Asmongold knows, but that's just me. To my audience, I want you to go to the link in the description, sign the petition. Gaming is still a nerd's hobby, and we cannot let these activists ruin it or infecting it.
Development surrounding this story is the fact that it looks like this movement against payment processors being able to control what we see and what we think, this movement has gained the attention of the Japanese government. The Japanese have antitrust laws in place already, which sound like they might prevent the sort of behavior that these companies have supposedly engaged in with Steam. It's being reported that around a year ago, Visa was in the crosshairs of the Japanese government, but they let it go. However, it looks like Japan may now be issuing sanctions on the company. It is unclear whether or not this is related to this gaming movement, but there are lots of social media personalities from Japan indicating that it is, and pointing out that in the open letter that Collective Shout wrote to push this action from payment processors, they literally named the Japan Credit Bureau, which likely incentivized them to take action ASAP against this nonsense.
Never mess with the East, okay? You know, hey, Collective Shout, I challenge you to go, I don't know, censor the CCP. What would happen if Collective Shout forced the payment processors to censor someone who has ties to the CCP? How do you think they're gonna end up? I challenge you, Collective Shout, try censoring the CCP, or perhaps even better, the Russian government. Oh wait, you won't do it because you're too pussy. You tech gamers because they're so easy. Well, now you found out the hard way that gamers, regardless what you do, what you say, they're gonna hound you. And yet you're not going to Blue Sky? Well, congratulations. Admirable, but it's not gonna last, and you probably going to, you're not gonna win. When you censor one thing, you're gonna censor everything. And how come they didn't censor OnlyFans? Yet you censor games. Why is that? Remember one thing, how quickly people forget that all it takes to change one course of history is the will of a single man, which I'm gonna keep bringing that up. All it's going to take is for Collective Shout to make one wrong move that will probably bury them for good deep, deep in the ground. Also, don't forget, the link to the petition is in the description. Leave a like and subscribe if you want gaming news, gaming theories, or you just want to see me play games. Visit my first, third, and fourth channel up here or link in the description.